Coming back to your fridge, you'll notice that you've got your power button here. You then got a triangle with a warning symbol in. You then got a leisure battery, a gas symbol, and then a plug there. As I mentioned, this is a three-way fridge, and how that works is there's three ways to power it. So, firstly, your leisure battery. Your leisure battery is 12 volt. And what that does is it means that when you're travelling, you can run the fridge off 12 volts. So if I click this button, that then allows the fridge to run off 12 volt when you're travelling. You've then got your gas, so when you're wild camping, you can run the fridge off gas. And then finally, when you're hooked up, you can run it off mains electric, which is this pin here. Now, a lot of people think that they can run the fridge off your leisure battery when you're wild camping. You can't. Because what happens is it draws too much power, so it simply trip. So what you do need to do is when you're wild camping, it's always gas, and when you're travelling, it's always obviously your leisure battery. Now you've got this auto button here, which if you select allows it to automatically assign whatever fuel you have got to the fridge, which you're going to leave on all the time. Now by mistake, if you ever knock that button off, you obviously may end up selecting a fuel that you've not got. In that case, you'll then get a warning symbol, which is indicated on here, where you then need to reset the fridge. However, it is relatively simple. You can flick through these options just by using the arrows there, and obviously change the temperature if you do so want. Going away from the fridge, before I move on to your lounge area, you'll notice you got your storage here with all your carpets in, and also your table, which is freestanding. In the back here, you'll notice you've got your aerial and also the aerial box. Now how this works is at the moment it's on, you've got a switch on here which turns it off, so you won't be able to get any power. So always make sure that that's on when you're using obviously your TV and you're using the aerial. You then need to unscrew this cap and push up with the aerial. You then tighten this into position. You've then got this arm here where you can use this to turn the aerial and tilt the head of it to improve signal. You have also on this box got a little dial which you can use to change the range of obviously the aerial point. And that is all located in here out of the way. Moving into your lounge area, this area does convert into a bed. How this works is underneath here, if I lift up the seat, you'll notice that you've got your slats here. These simply slide out, as you can see, and then you've got a metal leg, which you can just see with that silver pole there, which will then pull down and then stabilise the bed. You've got the same thing on the other side here, and all you need to do is pull it into the middle, meet them into the middle, drop that leg down just to support it, and then there is your bed. You've then got some infill cushions, obviously these drop down to make a big double, like so. So dead simple. Now I did forget to mention, going back through to the front, you've got one main, obviously, remaining drain down point that we need to talk through, and I did forget to mention that it is located underneath here. So as well as storage, you have got your boiler which is located underneath here. If you open this up, you'll notice that, as I say, you've got some storage, but then you've got underneath here your boiler. So these are just on magnetic strips, this panel. All you need to do is pull it away and then lift it up. With that removed like so, you can see that your boiler is accessible. Now, your boiler does look very complicated, however, the only thing that you're going to need to know in here is your boiler drain down point. Now, if I try and make this lighter for you, you can see it's quite hard to see on camera, but there is a blue tap which is just underneath here. I'll just use my torch just so you can see that. That is your yellow tap. Now, at the moment it's closed. This controls your drain down point for your boiler system. In the down position as it is at the moment, it's closed, and all you need to do to drain down this is simply flick it up. If I was to flick this up like so, as you can see, that'll drain down the entire boiler system. And as I say, just like your fresh water and your wastewater, you can leave these drain down points open. Now, as I say, it looks very complicated in here. That is the only thing that you need to drain down, and you need to make sure you drain down that every time that you're moving off site. Obviously, to ensure that you don't get any frozen water in the boiler system. Moving across from your boiler, going into your bathroom area. We've spoken obviously about priming your system in regards to your pump and everything, which you can obviously do here and in your shower. The main thing that we need to discuss is obviously your cassette toilet. Your cassette toilet is here. If I lift this up, you can see that we've got the blade closed currently. Now, as I made reference to outside, you've got something called a blade which allows you to open and close the cassette. At the moment it's closed, you need to get into the habit of doing that. Underneath, you'll notice this silver handle. This is what I reference the blade, and as I say, it allows it to close and open it. At the moment it's closed. If I push away, it opens it, and if I was to look into the cassette, I can look straight down into the cassette now. What you need to do is, during use, you need to push this across to open it. You then need to, so all the waste can then drop down into the cassette. Once you've done that, you then need to close it to ensure no odours escape. Now, of course, when it's open and you've done your waste and it drops down into the cassette, you need to go to your blue button here and click that button. What that's going to do is it's going to allow you to flush the system. And it's worth noting that your pump needs to be on for that to work. Flush your system and then come back down to your blade here and pull it across to close it, and that'll just stop any nasty odours from escaping. Just moving back up to your flush, as I say, your blue button activates your flush here, and you will get a red or amber warning light just to indicate when this cassette is full. Once you've got that, you need to empty the system. Finally, moving into your lounge, at the front area of the vehicle, you've obviously got your travelling seats, so you've got 2 here and 2 here, and then also your 2 seats at the front, your passenger and your driver's seat. Underneath here you have got storage that you can access if you do wish so, and I did forget to mention, underneath the rear benches you have got storage as well, so plenty of storage in the vehicle. You've got the table set up at the moment for eating. Now you can use this in this position when you are travelling as well. To make this area into a bed, to make it the full 6 berth, all you need to do is lower this table by clipping this, pressing this in rather, to fold the leg in. You can then, using these ledges here, sit it onto there and rest it, and that becomes the base for the bed. Then, using some infill cushions that you've got in the rear locker, you can then infill this area to make it a bed. To make it a really big bed, all you need to do is, just like you've got in the rear, you've got a slide out mechanism here with a leg that pulls down, that pulls to here and allows, again, this area to convert into a big double bed for your guests. Before I move on to the contents of what's underneath this this final bench, you have got a drop down bed up at the top as well. I've only obviously got one hand at the moment, so I can't demo that, but how that works, you need to press this button in and then simply pull this down into place. You then get a ladder and you then up onto the bed. Now, just coming over this, underneath this bench, as you can see, I've taken the cushions off just to show you what is beneath here. Now, you'll notice you've got some pipes here, that's just for your Aldi heating system. The main thing that you need to know underneath here is your leisure battery, which is there. You don't need to do anything with that, that's all working, however, that is there. And also you've got some fuses, which is also located there. You have, if you want, got some heating and hot water buttons here. Now, what we say is leave this for a technician. You don't need to use this. These are simply like your isolator switches, so leave this as you just leave this as you see it. As I say, this is more of your e-box and contains your fuses, so just be careful with that. What I say is typically you need to consult a technician if you do ever need to access this area. The majority of the things that you need to know are all done up on this panel here. With the seats rearranged, you're now back to your living space. Now that concludes your handover video on the Bessecarr 596. I hope you enjoyed.